Welcome back to another episode of Healthcare Horrors. My name is Alicia Carosella. I'm your veteran training and development specialist.
And I am Ashley Boyce. I'm a brand specialist here at Atlas.
I'm Dolan on the knobs.
Got our knob guy.
Yup. We're drinking a spiced caramel apple cocktail, if you will.
Yeah, it really is that. It's good.
It's very caramely. A little too caramely, which is surprising, but it's good. Karen, I don't know if Karen would be into it because Karen was not digging the spiced apple sparkling water, but maybe with a shot of caramel vodka, she'd like it.
You should present it to her as an option.
I shall.
Be like, here's this gift for you.
I think she's gone already.
Oh, darn it.
I don't know.
No, she's not.
Is she still here?
She's here?
Mm-hmm.
Karen!
Perfect.
All right. What did we talk about last time?
We talked about Danvers State Hospital last time.
Yes, one of the haunted hospitals that we talked about, which is now apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm. Such beautiful apartments.
They are very pretty.
We had Erica Bradford, recruiter, on
we
here.
did.
So
We sure did. That was fun. And now we're moving right along into November.
We're back to talking about our normal topic, which is healthcare professionals who, do terrible things, which is, it's kind of weird to transition back into that.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed talking about all the haunted places.
I did too. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to do some more stuff like that for sure. Before we do get into it, disclosure right at the beginning, we are going to be talking about a lot of infant death and cruelty. So if you cannot handle that, I would just shut it off right now.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to talk about Lucy. Not Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Lucy Letby. Very unshiny person.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with my favorite part, which is their zodiac information. So she was born January 4th, 1990, and she's a Capricorn. Capricorns are known for being enthusiastic, intelligent, and extremely practical. They are disciplined and controlled, and they know where and when to draw the line. I feel like that's ironic. And they are often too logical to be led by their heart or their emotions, but this can make them look cold. And they have a habit of indulging in gambling and things like that, which should be discouraged. I don't know. That's what the astrology website said. So that is a little bit about Capricorns, I suppose. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I always like to see how that comes into play after we talk about the story. So
yeah, absolutely. So if you guys think Lucy Letby sounds familiar right now, it is a current case over in the UK of a nurse who's being charged with killing 7 babies and attempted murder of 10 more.
Yep.
And she hasn't been sentenced yet, so it's currently going on.
Yep, the trial's ongoing, and these murders and attempted murders occurred at the Countess of Chester Hospital in 2015 and 2016.
There's not a lot about her background. All I do have is that she graduated from nursing school in 2013. Her degree, she got a BSc with honors in child nursing, and her first nursing job, she started working at Chester and District Standard. And then from there, she moves into the Countess of Chester Hospital, which is just south of Liverpool in the UK.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of read it as the court has it, like the paper summarized this as what's happening at the trial. But before I do that, I just want to start with the infants that were allegedly murdered by Lucy Letby. And the names present on the court list are Joseph Johnson, Semlin Bennett, Elsie McNall, Daisy Parkin, Barney Gee, Maddie Freed, Eli Gelder, and Joseph Gelder. So on Monday, the former countess, this is all happening very recently. This article is from the 25th of October, so this is just covering the recent trial. So it says, on Monday, the former countess of the Chester Hospital nurse also denied fresh charges of attempted murder. The new charges relate to existing alleged victims, meaning Letby is now charged in some cases of attempting to murder a baby on multiple occasions. Letby pled not guilty to all 22 charges of offenses alleged to have happened between June 2015 and June 2016 at the hospital's neonatal unit. The court heard how Lucy Letby injected air into newborn twins, leading one twin to die and one to suffer a non-fatal collapse within just 28 hours of each other. Prosecuting at Manchester Crown Court on the afternoon of Monday, Nicholas Johnson KC gave details of the prosecution's case for two of the babies named on the charges. Due to reporting restrictions, the babies are named as Child A and Child B. Child A, a boy, and a twin sister, Child B, were born at the Countess of Chester Hospital in June 2015 and placed in the neonatal unit, a special area of the hospital which looks after sick or vulnerable babies. The court heard that Child A died just 90 minutes after being passed into the care of Letby, while Child B suffered non-fatal collapse 28 hours later, where Letby was present despite not being the designated nurse.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's not nice. So then on Tuesday, October 11th, the alleged killer, nurse Lucy Letby, was caught trying to attack a newborn twin by the child's mother. Prosecuting at Manchester Crown Court, Nicholas Johnson KC said Child E was the twin brother of Child F, with Child F allegedly being poisoned with insulin. Mr. Johnson said it was 9 p.m. on August 3rd, 2015, when the mother decided to visit her twin sons and interrupted Lucy Letby, who was in the process of attacking Child E. Although the mom did not realize it at the time, Child E was acutely distressed and bleeding from the mouth.
Yeah, so she wasn't just, overdosing these kids and they were just going to sleep. It was kind of a sadly painful way for these babies to go to. She was just pretty ruthless.
And the fact that she was doing it to children that she wasn't supposed to be taking care of means, she was actively preying on these kids. Like,
what do you mean she wasn't supposed to be taking care of them?
Well, one of these wasn't even the designated nurse.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
she was
kind of like she's got a thing for twins.
Well, being in the neonatal unit, obviously a lot of the babies are premature or more vulnerable. Maybe there are complications at birth, and a lot of twins and triplets are usually, from what I understand, born prematurely. So I think that's also why there are a lot of cases of twins. And there was a case of triplets where I think she killed 2 out of the 3.
Yeah. So injecting the air into the bloodstream. So it's like an air embolism. And then, of course, the insulin trick, because we've heard people and doctors and nurses doing that to patients before. On October 13th, this is all 2022, Lucy Letby, she wrote in a note found at her Chester home, "I am evil. I did this." So this was presented in court on October 13th. So she was arrested in July of 2018. And that's when the house was searched. In addition to some of the paperwork, including that note saying, "I'm evil, I did this," they found some interesting items. There were some Post-it notes with closely written words on them, some of which included the names of her colleagues. So I'm not sure what we make of that. But yeah, I mean, that's really what's kind of been going on. It's not I don't have a ton of more details than that. Do you?
Yeah, I got some other stuff just here and there. So it sounds like the defense attorney was basically asking the jury to consider all of these incidences to just be a series of coincidences. Although it was a lot of babies that were stable and then just out of nowhere they start collapsing. Also, like you said, the notes that they found in her home saying things like basically saying that she was evil and that she did this. I I think the defense attorney was trying to just say, you know, she was under a lot of stress, so, and it was ruining her reputation, so she just started writing these notes about herself. But I don't think that's really how it would work. And while this is all unfolding, Letby is pleading not guilty to all of these charges. While people were being interviewed about her, like coworkers and friends and family, I don't know, it sounded like she didn't have a rocky childhood. Again, we don't know a lot about her childhood.
Nothing to stress about. There's just really, there's not a ton of details from what I've read. I'm sure there will be more details as the case comes out, but all this happened in 2015 and 2016, and I think she had been arrested, I think, like 3 times. And, you know, each time I think they just didn't have enough, and then they let her go, and that's kind of why this is all finally coming to a head at this point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when friends and other people who knew her were being asked about her, no one really had anything bad or abnormal to say about her. Mm-hmm. She was even a model for a hospital appeal to build a new pediatric unit in 2013. So that was just kind of ironic. There's photos of her holding a baby in like this campaign for this new unit. In some of the articles that you might read or come across, the babies' names are not listed. They're referred to as babies A through M.
That's different. I mean, how sinister. I mean, I feel like that's like just a power trip. Like, sure, I'll be a model for this. Oh, I get to hold a baby? Oh, perfect.
And I think it was before she started killing anyone yet, because that was in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then it was 2015 to 16 when she was at the Countess of Chester Hospital. And during this time, the facility noticed a high mortality rate of infants that was over 10% of the mortality rate of all the maternity wards in the UK, or at least maybe in that area, to the point where the facility actually stopped accepting premature infants because they knew something wasn't right. So they were sending premature infants to other hospitals or like just not accepting more.
Wow.
So they could investigate and see what was going on. So once the investigation started at the hospital, they couldn't really pinpoint where the problem was coming from until Lucy ends up like going on vacation with her family or something, and they noticed that there was a decrease in mortalities, or at least maybe coding babies. Once they kind of catch on to that pattern, they change Lucy to the day shift, and then the death follows her to the day shift. So that, yeah, then they eventually, you know, start questioning her, search her home, and find those notes.
Yeah, and it's really that thing of where all the behaviors that were happening before kind of, you know, hindsight's 2020 come to the forefront, where, you know, she was working with these babies that, you know, were not assigned to her, and then she was, you know, when the patients would die that were not assigned to her, in one of these cases she was like kept going out and like trying to talk to the family even though it wasn't her responsibility and it wasn't, you know, her patient. And like her supervisor found this really weird and was just like, hey, focus on, you know, the baby that's assigned to you, focus on your own patient. And like she just wouldn't let it go. And I think this was her second victim. So this was like relatively new, but you never really think much of those behaviors until like it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So
yeah, it was, I don't have their names. I just have that it was baby E and baby F that were twins. So baby E's death, one of the first twins, his death was ruled out as a gastrointestinal disorder, which I guess can be common in babies. So there was not really a postmortem conducted or anything on his body, and that's when air or gas was intentionally injected into his bloodstream. And yeah, so Letby starts following the family on social media and connecting with them. I think she even sent the family like a Christmas card.
Nothing says I'm guilty like interjecting yourself into the situation, but you see that a lot too in like really brazen situations of like, you know, serial killers when you watch a movie or something, and it's they return to the scene of the crime, like they just can't stay away, like they have to watch it all unfold, and they get their satisfaction out of, you know, what happens next.
Yeah, and then she attacks the twin, just like you said, less than like within 28 hours of each other. She kills both of these baby boys that were only like 6 days old. And she laced his feeding bag with insulin. There was another baby that was left with permanent brain damage after inserting milk and air into his or her nasogastral tube.
Milk and air?
Well, it was probably just milk or a feeding.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and she put air into it.
I think like her handwritten notes are so interesting. I mean, more than her method of killing, because it's kind of like that classic, more undetectable, but obviously clearly detectable way of doing it. She wasn't like very original in that way, but her notes were so strange. Like they found these in her house. So one of them said, "I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them." And then another one said, "Not good enough. I will never have children or marry. I will never know what it's like to have a family." So clearly there's something going on with her and it's that thing of like envy of like, if, you know, I can't have it, then neither will you. I want what you have. And so, I mean, and I don't know what was going on with her medically, you know, and she wrote, "I'm a horrible, evil person." Like, so it's like weird because if she did write these, she feels some sense of like remorse for doing it, but like her, like the envy and the jealousy
just got the best of her,
overpowered her ability to, you know, her judgment and her ability to, you know,
I feel like that's
be a
like
good person.
Just a way more extreme, it's not you, it's me type.
Yeah.
Like, it's messed up.
Definitely taken to an extreme. And the fact that authorities had all these notes, which to me, it just sounds like she's confessing to it. But
I know, but you have to prove she wrote it.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, you know. But I mean, who else would write those notes?
Yeah. But the Christmas card that she sent to one of the victims' families, she also sent a sympathy card to one of the parents of the babies.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And
so weird.
I don't remember where I heard this, but I guess she had like a picture of the sympathy card on her phone. So in a way that's like kind of like a trophy. Like she can look at the sympathy card and just kind of remember or relive the incident. So yeah, she would get close to the families of the babies that she killed. And that's just extra sick and twisted.
Yeah, she just doesn't, I don't know. It's really weird because, you know, she started off really good. She's got honors, like she's smart, she's into her work. And if you look at pictures of her, she looks like a totally normal person.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, almost 17 kids she could have killed within 1 year. So who knows if they wouldn't have stopped her, caught on to her. Like she obviously would have just kept going.
She would have, but I think she probably would have ended up to the point where she like told on herself because she would probably, sounds like she's the person who wants kind of the glory for it. She wants the infamy.
But she's pleading not guilty. It's hard to say, but she's probably
news.
She's liking
getting
the
that attention.
For sure. Yeah. What else do we have?
So where are we at in the trial now? Is the trial going on now?
It's ongoing.
So
still.
where are we at now?
I think in the 4th week. We're in the 4th week, I believe.
As of the recording.
Yep, as of the 31st of October. So they're in the 4th week.
Wow.
Dr. Dewey Evans was the pediatric consultant that was asked to start reviewing the case, and I think he actually like walked in on her.
What?
Almost like trying to dislodge a breathing tube from a baby. Maybe that was someone else, but I'm pretty sure that was him. So he started looking into it, and then it was Dr. Evans who noticed the pattern that was just very obvious that this was trailing Letby. Also, of course, the hospital was understaffed by 21%, so it was easier for her to get away with something like this for the year.
Is there anywhere you can watch this? Is it not being televised? I feel like this is
I got a lot of my
crazy.
information from BBC News.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure there are YouTube videos. The latest update from the 31st of October, it seems like she is admitting and remembering that she's not the designated nurse for some of these children and is openly admitting to that and stating that the other nurse or nurses who are in charge, or very competent nurses, which, I mean, doesn't help her case at all if she's, not the guilty one.
So she's all of a sudden kind of slowly changing her story or remembering things.
Yeah, at first it sounded like she was saying like, I don't know if I was assigned to that patient child, and now she's kind of walking it back. But I think even if she's not intentionally walking it back, that's what happens when you lie. Eventually the truth comes to the surface. So
I wonder why they couldn't do like a psychic evaluation on her, or maybe they only do that if you're like pleading insanity or something, but
super possible.
Just to maybe see what, like right now, since the investigation is ongoing, it's all allegedly,
Yes, all of it's alleged.
But
there's a lot to get through with each of these situations. So I think that's why it's taking so long.
Yeah. But I hope they do an evaluation just to maybe see, maybe she had trauma when she was younger, or maybe she got pregnant and had a miscarriage. Maybe she really is just jealous that she can't get a man and get pregnant. I don't know.
So. I don't know. And maybe it's those things, or maybe
she's just crazy and just wanted to.
It's just really sad.
It is.
I know there's not a ton of details so far. I mean, there's like a lot of details about each child and how, who's the nurse on shift, and that's a lot to get into. But ultimately, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to follow the case. And since we're talking about this case, I started thinking of another case that we talked about, Daniela Poggiali. I probably totally just said that wrong. There's nothing really new going on with her. I looked her up. So we recorded an episode about her in December 2021, and she was a nurse in Italy, suspected of at least 90 murders in 2014 to 15. Yeah, but she was like convicted and then for some reason acquitted, and I don't remember why. So she's just like roaming the streets. She's free, but there hasn't been anything new. She hasn't tried getting back into healthcare, or at least killed anyone that I could find. So
can you believe we've been doing this podcast for a year? Over a year?
Been over a year.
Dang, look at us go, guys.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
And we still wing it almost every time. Ashley always has better notes than I do, but
I try.
I am juggling 85 things every day, so bless you.
Well, and we did just start a new recruiting class, so you're extra busy.
I really am, but it's all good. I know I keep seeing like my Teams chat go off, and I'm like, nope, not for me, not till after 4:00.
Yep, not right now, you guys.
I know. All is well.
Yes. Okay, so back to her zodiac.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about all that stuff? Her being a Capricorn.
I mean, I think she truly is cold-hearted. And I don't know, not much of this sounds logical to me. And, as a Capricorn, it says that they're unselfish in nature and too logical to be led by their heart or emotions. And it seems like that is not the case with Lucy Letby.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she does like to gamble.
Yes.
With other people's lives.
Yep. Jeez.
Maybe a bit of an addictive personality.
Yeah. My guess is this just, stems back to clearly mental illness of whatever type.
Of some sort.
Unfortunately.
Like I said, it's like an extreme of it's not you, it's me. Like that is a pretty common mental health issue to have. This just seems like very, very extreme.
I know, and it's like, my thing is, it's with people like babies, people who can't fight back. Like, pick on someone your own size.
Or just don't.
Or just don't.
I know, but if you're going to do it, if you just can't, resist the impulse.
Go to the gym. Again, go on a roller coaster, go skydiving.
If you want an adrenaline rush, no kidding. I can think of better ways.
Pick up boxing. If you really feel like you need to hurt someone, there's healthier ways to express this.
It's just sad. It's just so sad, and it's even harder, I think, because it's so recent. And we're hoping that we're to the point in screening people and doing background checks and all of that stuff, so that we wouldn't be having to deal with this type of thing, and that nobody should have to deal with. I'd lose my full on mind if somebody ever hurt my baby. So
I was gonna say, from your perspective as a mother, like it's got to be a little bit more real and terrifying, considering it is so recent. That's just messed up.
I would full on mama bear. I'm probably going to jail at this point. So I mean, it's just, you don't touch people's children, period.
Yeah. Well, and she graduated nursing school in 2013, and then she just started killing in 2014 and 15. So there really wasn't much time to set up red flags or,
Well, it's interesting because a lot of mental illnesses really start to shine through in your early 20s. That's really when all this stuff starts to come to a head. So
how old is she? 20?
She's 32 right now.
Right now. Yeah. Gotcha.
So she would have been in her early 20s, which, I mean, makes sense. But dang.
She cracked under pressure.
I guess. I don't know. I think nursing school would be so full of pressure.
Yeah. I've heard nursing school is not fun, and it's definitely a challenge, to say the least.
But
yeah. I guess as this unfolds, we'll keep
update.
everyone posted. Yeah.
Same with Daniela Pogilion.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be many updates on Daniela. I think
probably
she's
not.
Staying out of the news and stuff.
Smart at this point.
Now that I say that, though, something's going to pop up.
I know, right? Got to be careful.
How did you originally find out about Lucy Letby's story?
That is a phenomenal question that I do not know the answer to.
Because we were trying to figure out who to talk about. And
I think maybe I was just scrolling on Instagram.
Okay.
And it kind of popped up in my feed. And so then I started Googling. And that's kind of it.
That's it.
I would have to guess Instagram is the only form of social media I have. So
fair enough.
Had to be the thing.
The gram.
Yep.
Right on. Next, in 2 weeks, so we're going to go back to bi-weekly, not weekly. We are talking about Charles Cullen, another kind of recent case. There's a popular movie on Netflix out about him right now called The Good Nurse. I wouldn't even say it's about him. I'm going to say it's more about his friend Amy. And this nurse, we're back in the U.S., and he was charged for the murders of 30 to 40 people, but it could easily be at least 400 people.
That's a lot of people.
That's a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Yikes.
All right.
Well, don't do what Lucy would do.
Allegedly,
Lucy has done. Do not do what allegedly Lucy has done. All right.
Murder?
Question mark.
Murder? Question mark?
Murder.
Thank you for listening to Healthcare Horrors, brought to you by Atlas MedStaff. Just a reminder, we are not healthcare professionals. We are just fans of true crime, talking about some of history's darkest moments in healthcare. Stay tuned, stay healthy, and stay safe.
Healthcare horrors. Murder.